Though I do wonder how an apocalypse would go down in an area where it's not immediately hitting them. Because in zombie apocalypse movies, it always seems like it affects the world and it's so widespread. But what if there were pockets of civilization where no one was infected and...
Well, yeah. And I think humanity is distributed enough that, like, most... Even, like, epidemics would die out after a certain point just because of how remote some amount of humanity is. I don't know.
Ryza, I was thinking, maybe we should meet up with the others and take a little stroll.
Sure, I guess I wouldn't mind a little break.
Good lord, you won't let me finish topics, though. I was just talking about, like, how we go into automation and all these things, and I'd love it if people went into crafting hobbies and whatnot again.
Well, the one issue with that is people need to...
What, have value for it?
Well, so the thing is, someone can craft beautiful articles of clothing and stuff, but where are people going to buy it from? They're going to buy from big box stores and such.
I just know if robots did literally everything important for us, like, people would need something to do. So I figured, like, people working on making really, really cool shit probably be better than some of the alternatives. Anyway.
I think there will always be jobs that require humans, though.
Less and less.
Oh, is this another line of hers?
Sure. I guess I wouldn't mind a little break.
Look at that clam.
Clam.
Or oyster, whichever one it was.
Jeez, I almost forgot how beautiful this place is.
It's still hard to believe that this is all man-made. Almost more impressive knowing that. Klaudia, did you have something specific in mind bringing us here?
No. I just wanted Ryza to take a break. She's been working non-stop, and I was afraid she might collapse.
She hasn't slept in months. True. Your mind can't function without rest. That's easy to forget when you're so focused on something.
Yeah. Thanks, Klaudia. I guess maybe I have been losing sight of little things.
I'm glad you finally realized what we all knew already.
Hey, come on, Tao.
Is everyone here? Good. Come with me immediately.
What's going on?
Why the big rush?
We've discovered a gate near the cove. Felucia are pouring out of it.
Looks like this is my looks like my big moment's finally here. Let's do this.
You're about to say big moment to shine or something?
Yeah, something like that. Where? Who?
Down by the port, didn't they say?
Oh. Hidden Cove.
Oh, the Hidden Cove.
Ugh. I guess I might as well pick the grapes as we go by. Rainbow grapes are, like, shockingly in high demand.
It'd be wonderful if every grape was a different flavor.
Yeah, that would be lovely. Speaking of grape smoothies.
Yeah.
So, I was recently an artist of, I guess not like some repute, just an artist that I was aware of. Recently found our Ring Fit series. And was tweeting about it and then left a comment talking about how cool it would be if we were to make all the smoothies in the game after the fact. And one of the smoothies in Ring Fit Adventure is a grape smoothie. Not really that relevant, but... Wait, Hidden Cove? Not this Hidden Cove? Guess not. Taking the boat back. What? Oh. Oh, Hidden Cove.
Ah, yep. That's the gate, of course.
Oh. Wait, hold up. While we're here, I'm gonna go back to the Atelier for, like, 2 seconds.
Meanwhile, the Felucia overrun the city.
Yeah, you know. Normally there's, like, a time limit on these games, but I'm super glad there isn't. Moving up. Okay, so this is the one that I want to get.
I'm upset I burned my tongue on curry earlier.
You burnt your tongue?
Mm-hmm. Well, I had a taste test. Unfortunately, the curry was too hot when I did so.
Wind Rider. Backpack is done. Secret rainbow. Oops. Guess I need that. Alright, now we can go back to the hidden cove.
But yeah, so in Ring Fit, you have strawberry smoothies, banana smoothies, spinach smoothies, and grape smoothies. And green tea.
I'd be okay with it. I'd love to figure out how to film an actual cooking show. I feel like we need a house with a central island for that sort of thing.
Oh, definitely. That was one thing I didn't like about our current rental house. It was interesting, when we were doing our rental house hunt, we were thinking about the layout of the bedrooms in particular, because those were eventually going to be our bedroom, our gaming office, and then my art office. So those were essential. And the downstairs doesn't really matter too much to us, but I do most of the cooking, so having a nice kitchen helps.
Wait, hold up. They said they discovered a gate near the cove and Flusher pouring out of it.
But
They just meant the...
B gate that we already knew about?
Yeah. What? Boop the snoot.
Well then. So yeah, the interesting thing was, many of the houses that we ended up touring were made by the same maker. And it's obvious in layouts and such. But there was one house that we had seen, and it wasn't ideal because it had a street behind and in front of it, and that would have driven me nuts. I'm so glad that where our bedroom is away from the road. But what was really nice about it was it had the... If you ever watch interior design shows, they always talk about the open concept, you know, living, dining, kitchen area. And it makes sense. It's a way for people to see across the entire room, socialize. If someone's working in the kitchen, they can see what people are up to in the family room. Things of that nature. And yeah, having a kitchen with an island. Oh, islands are awesome. My parents' kitchen is, I wouldn't say the largest kitchen, but it has at least a serviceable island. Though now people have ridiculous islands that actually serve as bar stool seating and a host of other things. Are you familiar with those islands?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of prefer that, like an island that is more kind of part table than anything else. Getting to actually do anything with that.
Yep. And so one of the houses that we had seen had a really nice first story. It had the open concept kitchen, dining, living area, and such. But the upstairs was a little less nice than what we currently have. The rooms were smaller, tucked away in odd places.
They were downright tiny.
Yes, they were tiny.
I was not going to be a happy camper working in there.
Mm-mm. I'm really glad that we were able to find a place with a fully carpeted upper floor. Because I know that there's the trend to have more hardwoods and such, but I don't like hardwoods. Your parents' entire house is hardwoods, with the exception of that downstairs basement studio.
Yeah.
And it just seems cold to me. Then again, they never turn on the heat, so
yeah,
what am I saying?
It is cold.
But I just always like the cushion of a rug. And I suppose the majority of my parents' house had carpets. And only the kitchen and the bathrooms had laminate or tile. But it also helps with sound insulation, warmth. I don't know. I like carpet. And also, then you don't have to buy carpets. It took us a while, but we finally found a rug that we liked for the family room. Not that we really use the family room much, but at least it has a rug and a couch and a coffee table and a chair. It looks like a living room.
Yeah, we can invite people over and not feel weird and guilty about it.
Mm-hmm. The one thing it's really lacking is another television, but we already have our television in our game room.
And I just don't want to watch TV with other people. I mean...
No, that's true, because I know that they have their bad movie nights and stuff, and I really enjoy the bad movie nights. They're fun, too. But it is nice to talk and chat with people, and I know that when I go back to my hometown, much of what my friends and I do does involve eating, playing board games, and maybe watching a movie. But I liked how this last time that I went to visit, one night was sort of later, and we got to see specifically Halloween-themed movies. The one in particular that I showed was Abbott and Costello Meet the Frankenstein Monster.
Yeah, I guess I just...
We had a lot of laughs, and we talked about it.
I guess.
Ooh. But the second day, we went out to eat and just spent hours talking and playing card games because it was a bubble tea place that allows you to play board games. And I think that's awesome. What's up?
I'm just waiting for you.
It's Impulse talking, though.
Lucia don't normally come alone like this. Do they retreat and leave behind a single observer? It's just a recolor of the other one.
Slowly
Also
turns
just
around.
slow spin.
Wait, so it isn't a scout? Is it the kind that comes later? Like Lila said. I believe so. But for now...
For now, we need to beat it down.
Okay, let's do this.
Oh, it's just the regular battle music. Alright. Oh, when in doubt, switch to her. Okay, just the one that hits one enemy. Let's see, is this straw? There we go. I made a item to just one-shot things. It's not quite as strong as I'd like it to be, but still.
All right.
Ooh, looks like we came through okay. I guess now we can say we defeated the draining demon, or one of them anyway. What do you think, Lila?
It's a skyreader, without a doubt. Skyreader? What does that mean?
Just what it sounds like. They can read the sky, predict the weather. In other words.
Which means
the Felucia probably know that a drought is on its way.
Indeed, even as we speak, they're informing the Ravaging Queen there's no rain in our future. So we can assume they're preparing to invade?
How long until it starts?
They've got a large swarm to organize, so won't be right away. But still, we have no time to waste.
This is awful. What should we do? Let's head back to the Atelier and begin formulating a plan. And wait 3 days? My god.
Will it be 3 days?
This probably will be.
Everyone looks so despondent. Just waiting for the inevitable.
Is there any way for us to stop this invasion?
I'm afraid not. The gate leading to the Ravaging Queen's personal nest has already been opened. She will lead them through the gate in a chittering deluge of death. And you're sure destroying the gate isn't an option? Absolutely not. The release of energy would cause catastrophic damage to the area.
But in what kind of radius?
Then what if we destroy the ruins and submerge the gate in water?
If there were only a few of them, maybe. But the Horde will gladly crawl over allies' floating corpses.
Could we somehow just seal the gate really fast? Brute force it?
Sealing a gate is a delicate process, impossible to perform with the constant threat of a Felucia attack.
Then, what can we do?
One option is to destroy the orb immediately. It should return all its water to the sanctuary at once, which may slow them down. But it wouldn't stop them completely? They're already entrenched there. Even all that water won't hold them at bay forever.
So even if we do that, they'll still come eventually, and the village would lose its only source of water.
Another option is to isolate ourselves on the island, just like the Clint Kingdom did originally. So we just sit and watch while everything gets swallowed up until the drought ends.
Would everything outside the island turn out like the castle and the tower did?
During the drought, the swarm will grow. There's no way to predict how far the devastation might spread.
There is one other option. It's dangerous, but it has the greatest chance of stopping the invasion. What, we go and kill the queen? Is that what she's going to suggest?
Yeah, go figure. I'm surprised Lent didn't suggest that.
Tell us.
We go to them, meet them head on, and destroy the ravaging queen. With no leader to give them directions, the swarm will dissolve and the invasion will end.
I thought you might suggest that, but it's too reckless. All chances of success are effectively zero.
But if we did succeed, that would end it for sure, right?
I'm in. We can clear up this entire mess, right? If it just means we gotta work a little harder, let's do it.
I agree. If Ryza's in, so am I. I need to repay all of you for your courage that you've given me.
Well, the courage that you've given me. It was my idea, so naturally I'll join you. Empel, stop beating around the bush. You know this is right.
Yes, I do. But someone has to warn you of the risks, right? Otherwise... I'm going too. Huh? No, wait. It's not because I feel like I'm being forced to. More like it's my duty. It's hard to explain, but... looks like my warnings fell on deaf ears. I suppose you'll need a responsible adult to chaperone.
Excellent. So, no more hemming and hawing? Then Ryza, proceed as you see fit.
Jesus, there's like two cantaloupes just strapped awkwardly to her chest.
Literally strapped.
Yeah.
Everyone, thank you. Attacking the Ravaging Queen is definitely going to be our biggest adventure so far. Are you not going to tell the other villagers?
As I've mentioned, our main goal is to seal the gates and lay a shroud over the Clint Kingdom. The fewer people who know about the underworld, the better. I'm sorry, but it's a necessary part of all of this.
So see, we really are going to go back and everyone's going to be all hunky-dory and going, you know, why aren't you doing your chores, kids?
I just wouldn't go back. Like, I seriously want to play a JRPG at some point, or just like a something where the heroes have already gone on their journey, saved the world, did whatever, but like, very obviously, like, a lot of JRPGs are kind of traumatic. You might have people that you knew or loved died, get injuries, have horrible revelations, and then it just kind of like goes back to normal. And I always wanted to play like a game where it's like not exactly like a hero dealing with their PTSD,
where you retroactively find out what they had done on their adventure, all the while trying to forge your normal life in the peace times.
Or something, trying to find their place in the world now that they are this high-level, high-gear, high-wealth, relatively famous individual that, like, no matter what, will never be able to live truly normally. And I've never seen a story like that. There's, like, a couple that kind of, sort of deal with it, but never, like, actually that well.
Mm-hmm. Any case. And if we didn't explain it fully, it could cause panic and confusion. We do more harm than good. Since Boss already knows what's going on, we should ask him to redirect any travelers after we leave.
What's the big deal? We just gotta win, right? Then everything will be fine. I know it seems pretty straightforward, but all these precautions are really are necessary.
So, we're going to risk our lives for them, and they'll never know what happened. I'm fine with that. This is to protect our own way of life, too. This is our fight. A fight to protect each of our futures, so we can have a peaceful, ordinary tomorrow.
I'm glad to hear such a resolve. Then take some time to reaffirm these ordinary things you want to protect.
During that time, we'll prepare for our departure.
3 days.
So in other words, they're saying clear up all that you need to do before we finish the game. Is that it?
Kind of.
Good idea. Let's all meet back here later.
Final battle? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go home, Bowden District, Lent's residence, Trep Hill, then back here.
So essentially visit where you want to prior to embarking on this potentially one-way mission?
Oh. Hey, Lent.
Yo.
Huh? You're in a surprisingly good mood.
Yeah, well, I finally managed to beat my dad.
I wanted to see it, though.
Yeah, they did kind of just off-camera his development after a while.
Yeah, because we had seen him drunkenly
Yeah.
ask for things in town and pester her parents and even punch him or something once,
this is
right?
kind of why I wish it was a little bit more open-ended sandboxy, because, like, I think it would have been really cool if Lent's dad had been a serious issue. Even to the point where, like, sometimes he'd show up every day injured.
And I really wanted to see Lent confront his father with the I beat the tower business.
Well, but, like, what if it was even based on, like, what you'd done in the game and what level he is and what gear he's wearing? So after a certain point, like, if you... Well, kind of after he crosses that threshold, his father lays off, and suddenly Lent as a character becomes much more available. Like, I think this game would have actually been really successful if it had been set to that 24-hour clock. So that, like, every day everybody meets up at Ryza's place or the Atelier, and depending on, like, what's been going on in their lives, different, they have different pluses or minuses or something like that.
That may have been difficult to script, but they really could have added a couple more cutscenes to show Lent tell his father about the tower and him beating him in one-on-one combat. Show, don't tell.
Oh well. Finally managed to beat my dad. That's a good sign right before our final battle.
Really? I thought your dad was as strong as any of the Guardians.
I don't know about that. I feel like Agatha's got to be way stronger than him.
I guess you know better than me. So, how'd it happen?
Well, he just hit me out of nowhere like usual, but I showed him it didn't hurt, so he backed right down. And it really didn't hurt at all. All along, it was my own fault, but I let him push me around.
Wait. What? So he just took a punch and it didn't hurt enough, and it was because I let it hurt me. What?
It's stupid. He absolutely should have just, like, chucked his dad into the river. Just full King Kong style. Like, pick the gruff bastard up.
Or stopped his fist in his palm, or parried
I like
it
the
in
idea
some
of
way.
Lent just picking his dad up bodily above his head and then hurling him into the nearest body of water. That would get the message across that I am mightier than you.
This just... it doesn't...
It's unsatisfying.
Because look at this. Changing your perspective isn't going to stop physical abuse. like, maybe changing your reaction. Maybe it'll, when there are bullies in school and people just say, just ignore them and it'll stop. I mean, it's true. It can work sometimes.
It can work.
But sometimes it
but
doesn't.
like, from my experiences, I get the bullies to lay off by jump kicking them or spinning them around so hard they never messed with me again. Might not be the best problem-solving thing, but, like, no consequences for me, and they laid off. And one of them even realized that he was being a giant dick and he couldn't... Well, no, he realized he couldn't bully me anymore. And since I was the only person he really bullied, he realized he had been a giant asshole the entire time. And then it was just like, well...
Kind of an awkward story regarding this. But did your parents ever smack you? Like on your butt?
Yeah.
Spanking?
Yeah.
That's the term, spanking. So when I was very little, it very rarely ever happened, but I remember getting spanked. And I think the last time I was ever to be spanked, maybe it was because I wanted to watch something or read a book or who knows what. But, my mom, I forget. But, she was going to spank me. And guess what I did? I laughed.
Mm-hmm.
I started laughing. And not just the kind of laugh. It was like the like evil laugh. And obviously none of it ever really hurt. But it was one of those things where they were so perturbed by the fact that I started laughing that I was never spanked ever again. And do you know what's interesting? Nowadays, I mean, we were raised in the early 90s, but nowadays, spanking is a complete no-no. Like, no parent would be sent to, children would be sent to Child Protective Services if they found out that people were being spanked.
I think spanking is okay, but it's like beating a kid or using a belt, for example.
But the thing is, negative reinforcement with physical violence, that doesn't really seem appropriate.
I don't think...
At all.
Thinking back, I don't think negative reinforcement ever worked that well on me. Mainly because it didn't make any sense. It was just a punishment. And... my problem... I guess the problem was, like...
being sent to my room never worked because I had too many fun things in my room. Like my books. And my sketchbooks.
Mm-hmm. I feel like physical punishments should be acceptable in extreme circumstances. Like, I knew a kid whose parents never disciplined him, period. And he thought it was so funny to kick people in the shins, punch them, hit them, do whatever. This is the kid that thought it would be a great idea to just pee all over my parents' bathroom. Like the carpeted bathroom.
Ew.
And just laugh about it. Or the other, my friend's younger brother in New Mexico, that thought it would be a great idea to just carry a knife around. This is like a 4-year-old. If even. Like, that kid should not have had a knife. And he thought it was a great idea to brandish it and actually try to stab and or slash people every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? All he'd ever do is do damage to, like, their clothing, because he wasn't very strong and he wasn't aiming for fleshy bits. But all it took was one instance of that, and my mother banned him from the house, at which point the church then excommunicated my parents, but that was stupid. But, like, that kid absolutely needed probably, one, to lose the knife, and probably some amount of, like, hey, by the way, shit hurts. Like... and then after that lesson is learned, then probably switch to other types of discipline.
Apparently I used negative reinforcement in the improper light. Well, then it would be consequences or punishment?
Yeah.
Penalization? To be penalized. Penalized always has a legal, or... it always seems to be something that people use in conjunction with, say, sports or games.
I don't know. Anyway, shall we?
Okay, sure. I just really do not disagree with the whole it's just a change in perspective.
Yeah, I just realized my dad sucks. And it's like, we knew that.
But oddly enough...
But he still punched you.
Yeah, oddly enough, though, it does sort of align with my whole laughing while being spanked thing. Because... But that was a tactic. I don't know. So you mean you had a change in perspective or something?
Something like that. Afterward, I asked him why he's been so distant all these years. Dumb, I know.
Is it okay if I ask what he said?
Sure. He said his son was done with his rebellious phase. About to become independent. What the shit? This is stupid.
If anything, the father was acting out.
Yeah, like a drunk asshole.
What?
He was afraid of you becoming independent? I guess he's as much of a parent as anyone, then.
Anyway, I don't care what he thinks. Once this is all over, I'm just gonna...
Huh? Gonna what?
Nah, forget it. Maybe I'll tell you later.
Is he gonna go on an adventure or is he gonna
Probably.
build a house?
He probably wanted to travel the world.
Yeah, travel the world.
Ooh, that's a big tree. Can you go to the big tree?
It's
Nope.
glowing. Oh.
This one?
No, back there. It was a giant log. And it
this?
has a scroll. That looks really cool.
It does look really cool.
And it's the only one of its kind that I've seen.
Yeah, I've never seen that log before.
But it looks like we can't interact with it. Shame.
Wow. I don't see you two together very often.
Oh, hey Ryza. I've been taking notes on how the island works. Figure boss can put them to use.
Oh, I see. But even with his notes, are you sure you can handle it, boss?
Not right away. Probably. I plan to take my time and figure it all out.
Huh. Feels weird hearing you be so serious. Of course I don't get any of it, so I shouldn't talk.
It's a good thing I spent so many years studying as hard as I could. Of course, I wasn't able to actually learn anything useful till Empel came here. So you weren't just... Huh? You haven't just been learning this stuff to try and show off. No way! Everything I've done is meaning now. It's let me help everyone on the island. So I guess I don't have anything else to say.
Oh, so it was about
I
bettering yourself for a
Freaking
selfish reason.
Boss is just such a shitty character. He's just like, you're all trying to be better than me, so I had to push you down, bring you down to my level. Like, he is just this, like, petty individual.
But think about it. For him, his self-worth and his value, and even the enjoyment of the activities that are making him, it's all a competition and to prove himself.
See, I think Boss would have been a much more successful character if he had been constantly reminding them of their responsibilities. Like, I know that's what the parents have been doing, but I think Boss should have been kind of this, like, low-level villain that was straight up just constantly telling them to stop screwing around and actually, like, help, because these 4 kids are effectively some of the only kids left in the town. Like, no matter what, they're gonna have to actually, like, take some level of responsibility to keep Kurken Island going. And so
Are there even enough people to keep the population of Kurken Island going?
No. Not really. I mean, kind of,
There's
sort of.
There's probably a ton of people indoors that we can't see, but yeah.
But, like, he absolutely should have been, you know, maybe even the point where Ryza was drowning, he runs off to go get help, they go distant, and then his father starts, like, lumping responsibilities on him, and he grows resentful, not because his friends, his old ex-friends are trying to, like, you know, they're not trying to be better than him, but they still have a life and some freedom, whereas he sees himself as, you know, stuck in this leadership role that he might not necessarily want.
Because his father will likely hand leadership over to him.
With a new toady that he doesn't particularly like to begin with, but he sees kind of the bigger picture, even if it's a small picture of the island. He sees the bigger picture and how everybody kind of fits into it, and having Tao, Ryza, and Lent effectively just screwing around and not doing anything productive in his eyes or the town's eyes is actually, like, a huge issue, because, like, you don't really need a shut-in book nerd when, you know, we're having drought issues, or, you know, don't have enough people in the fields working the farms, or, you know, trade's having a problem. And I feel like it would have been so much more successful if he just straight up was short-sighted enough to never realize, like, hey, they're actually contributing in their own way and doing something important. Instead of the, oh, they're just trying to be better than me, therefore I should be shitty to them. Kind of same thing like with the dad. Because the dad, like Lent's dad, for example, I think he should have always been physically abusive to Lent, not just because he was a drunk jerk, but because he wanted Lent to be strong enough to survive the things that Lent's dad couldn't survive.
Well, the mother.
Or the mother, too. You know, maybe even the mother had gotten killed.
And he couldn't defend her.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Or
maybe he could defend her, but, you know, it was kind of one of those where, like, she wasn't strong enough, and he wasn't strong enough, and so he wanted Lent to, like, always be better than both of the parents, and so poor Lent is effectively being put through super combat training all the time, and is, like, beaten and broken always, or... I don't know, there's just a bunch of ways they could have tackled it to make freaking Boss make a little bit more sense, because his change of heart is effectively like, oh shoot, I guess you are stronger than me. Well, meh. Anyway, I see.
I feel like we're finally back to how things were before.
Your dad was apparently afraid of you getting bullied as a kid. For stuff I did that he thought was weird, so his solution was to bully me for doing weird things, so I'd stop and not be bullied by kids for doing weird things.
So then, at that point,
that's
additional bullying.
Yeah, that's not good. Like,
that would be akin to kids bullying you in school for being a bookworm, or drawing cartoon characters. And then your parent is like, well, they bully you when they see you reading a book or drawing cartoons. Well, I'm just going to prevent you from doing either of them at home.
Mm-hmm. And, like, that's such a bad way of doing it. And my parents were always kind of low-key supportive of that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, I've always been a slightly aggressive person. And I get kind of frustrated easily, and I never really had a good outlet. So I was always kind of bullyish, but, like, never really that bad. Ish. I mean... I definitely would, like, kind of pick on people. You've even kind of commented on this, that sometimes, like, my humor can be a little bit, like, adversarial.
It really is the company you keep, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, but I had barely had any company growing up.
And it seemed like most of the friend groups you became entangled with ended up being bad people, too.
Yeah, lack of immediately available environments. But I'd say, like, a lot of my personality did kind of develop in a void that was pretty much just my family and the occasional interloper. And
your family is... they sometimes can crack jokes, but for the most part, they're more passive.
But, like, I can kind of understand...
So you might have been more uproarious and pesky because you wanted to liven things?
A little bit that... Yeah, and also just frustrated. Like, it's... I guess it was easy to feel trapped growing up. Because...
Well, you were also moving about.
Yeah. And even, like, nowadays, I still kind of have this problem a little bit where, like, I don't have a whole lot of external stimuli from other people. You know, I'm very much a private individual. I don't go outside much. I definitely don't have a whole lot of, like, immediate friends to interact with. And so, especially growing up and whatnot, I really was kind of just reliant on my parents to determine my life. I think that got kind of frustrating, and so I can kind of understand how some of these people would be driven to be bullyish or pesky or whatever. And it bugs me a little bit to see the bully stereotype to always just be so cheap. Because I think that's actually one of the personality tropes that is dealt with poorly the worst. because there is so much, like, potential that you could actually do with. Unlike, yeah, characters like Boss. But, nope. But, I mean, we just kind of had that same issue with Lent, where his dad's just like, I was afraid of you getting independent, therefore I beat you every day. And it's like, what the hell? I don't know.
Just to make him feel powerless and weak so that he'd never move on?
Yeah.
But what I was going to say was, my situation was peculiar in that I was signed up at one point for ballet, gymnastics, tap dancing, piano lessons, you name it. And eventually I would just say, you know, I'm not interested in doing this. I'm going to keep drawing and writing and such. But, you know, those are fine. And my mom would lament the fact that I wasn't getting involved in sports or any other extracurricular activities, or I was a cheerleader.
Ugh.
And it was like, Mom, I don't want to be a cheerleader. For goodness sake, I'm too much of a nerd. You can blame Dad for that. And sometimes they would have arguments about that. You filled her head with all that science fiction mumbo jumbo.
Your mother has never been particularly sympathetic for anybody else's, like, circumstances.
Oh, don't. I know that they'll never watch this, but
Yeah.
I don't want to say too much.
Freaking the penultimate or final street. I'm not sure if we're going to finish this or not. We might actually be able to finish this tonight.
Really? Well,
Oh.
if we don't get sidetracked with
Crafting? I have nothing else to do.
You know, well, talking about character motivations, character development, what could have been done, how it pertains to, or at least reflects aspects of our own lives. We can go on and on and on about that. In any case.
Ryza, I want to do everything I can to help. Will you stand by me and lend me your courage?
Of course.
I'm happy to help however I can, but I'm surprised you haven't realized already. I've never had to lend you my courage. You found that all on your own. I'm sure you'll be fine. Ryza, okay, I'll do my best.
Oh, is she going to show her father the flute?
Yep. What are you two up to? Klaudia, is that...
Father, I'm sorry I hid this from you. The reason I kept leaving the caravan was to practice.
What?
When we first started traveling, you always looked so sad whenever I would play the flute.
Is it that obvious?
But I kept on practicing, so that one day I'd be good enough to make you happy again. But as time went on and I kept my secret, I couldn't find the courage to come to you. Klaudia, you can do it. Then I met Ryza and the others. They listened to me, and they taught me that I could use my music to comfort.
And kill monsters.
I still want to find a way to make you smile again. So...
I understand, my love. Please, let me hear you play. Whenever I returned home, I always recalled that day you performed for me and your mother. When you decided to travel with me, I was reminded of it every time you played for me again. But I didn't understand. I thought you were telling me you wanted to return home, to your mother.
Our travels have brought me so much joy. Beautiful scenery, delicious food, exciting experiences, friends. I do miss Mother, but I'm also your daughter. I love traveling with you.
We'll go see her again, and you can perform for us. She'll be overjoyed to see how you've improved.
I'd like that. I'm so happy for you, Klaudia.
Don't worry. We'll go see Mother.
He's actually... Wonder. He's been one of the better parents. He was really overprotective initially and forced them to go on odd tasks to prove that they could defend Klaudia, but since she is likely the only family he has left, and the last remnant of his relationship with his wife and such, it makes sense.
Wonder, you're cutting out again. Yeah, unfortunately that voice cuts out on the Twitch mic. There's only so much I can do about it. I was trying to be louder, but it's hard. No, Shell, do not get it too much closer to my mouth.
I was just turning it.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the right place. I want to go check something.
What are we doing?
Well, now that we can fly, I wanted to, like, slowly go to some of the flying spots, just because.
That's the pathway upwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Jump on it. Let's see where it takes us.
Whoop.
I wish getting the wind boots would have actually changed her own boots a little bit.
I would have loved to have the little Mercury wings.
Yeah.
Ah, so a
You know
chest.
what? I was expecting a dragon up here.
Will it be worth something?
Answer is lightning core. You know, that's probably actually useful for something.
Any other ones you can remember?
I don't remember.
Oh, there were definitely some in the ruins where we fought the dragon.
Oh, you're right. Now where are we
Ooh,
supposed to
lunar
go?
lamp.
Oh, I haven't gone up to Trap Hill yet. Problem is, I need to pee again. I heard you're going to attack the Felucia where they live. Is that really the only option we have?
Yeah, it looks that way. So listen, after we go in, just in case, I'd like you to convince your dad to block off the road for a few days.
Alright, I promise. But, Ryza.
What is it?
I understand you can't tell anyone, but why don't you bring more people with you who know the truth?
Thank you, but I can't. And it's not because I don't think you can handle it, trust me.
Then why not?
Because I just can't bear the thought of there being nobody left who knows what happened.
This all sounds really ominous, you know? You sound like you don't plan on coming back.
I'd be lying if I said this wasn't incredibly dangerous. But there's no other path to take. No matter how dangerous it is, no matter how scared I am, I have to do this.
You know, the day you fell in the lake,
Huh?
I didn't help pull you out with the others, because I knew Agatha was watching from behind. That's why I ran off. I knew she was there, and I thought that was the best thing to do. Before I found her, I was terrified. I ran as fast as I could, and that's how I helped save you. So you run at full speed, no matter how scared you are. I'll stay behind and wait for your help.
Why didn't you tell us about this earlier?
My father asked Agatha to keep an eye on me, to make sure I don't do anything too dangerous. I knew, of course, but it was humiliating, so I never told anyone.
What the heck? Jeez, but I guess we were all stubborn in our own ways. Thank you, boss.
You might lose pitifully, you know? But I'm kind, so I'll forgive you. As long as you come back in one piece.
Sorry, buddy. I'm gonna defeat this dumb queen and come home to a victory parade. So, see you soon.
Yeah. See you soon.
like subtle things like that. The pauses.
Where the heck am I supposed to go next? Or, oh, you're home.
Yeah, we need to say goodbye to our parents.
Oh,
Why aren't you
can't-
working on the farm?
we forbid you to go. The wheat is getting so high. Your father can't handle it on his own. Yeah, I can. You must become a father. Stop it with this stupid alchemy and come back here right this instant. Tell me where your hideout is so I can torch the damn place.
Are you back?
Yep, I am back.
I was talking about the merits of tea because you went off to pee.
I pee out all that tea. I like tea. I don't like drinking it that often because it does make me do this. And that sucks because... Oh, right. We have to speak with these two.
Oh, you're back. Out wandering who knows where again. Why can't you...
I still don't like her.
Mm-hmm.
There. I don't think that's necessary. After what she did, nobody in town thinks poorly of her.
It's not about her reputation. It's about her helping out around here. She's long gone by the time I get up and... Yep. This is just how I expected this to go.
Did you say something, dear?
Nope, but listen. No matter how far I might go, I'll always come home. Oh yeah. Then why don't you use that alchemy of yours to make a button I can press to bring you home? If I made something like that, you'd never let me go on another adventure. What's the matter? Why are you staring at us like that?
Mother has just such a wide face. Like, it's interesting, the two styles available there.
Oh,
But,
I know.
They look like they're from different games.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you notice, many of the female characters are using the same head shape and eyes, but the males are so varied in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
And more human proportions, with the exception of Tao. But Tao is supposed to be a younger boy.
The condescension is strong from her. Wow. This is part of the reason why I've been just, like, dumping on her relentlessly this entire game. Because so far, she's been just kind of awful. Yeah. Do we have something on her face?
No, it's nothing. Sitting up here, talking about what we wanted to do in the future. It feels like a lifetime ago. This is where it started, where we learned how big the world could be, and now we have to fight to protect it.
Oh, I pressed A. It just didn't go, I guess.
I think I'm okay with that. Ryza, what are you doing? Get down here and help me.
Good lord.
But some things never change, I guess.
Like, I feel like after a certain point, I mean...
Can we take a good look at her bedroom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she has her bed there, This looks like a really nice bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
This is immense for a child's bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Look, she has the shelf full of curios and crystals and toys.
Mm-hmm.
A wardrobe. Okay, keep going. A seating area for card games or discussions and such.
Yeah, this is no farmer's daughter's bedroom.
Look, she has a big chest. Look at all those books. Look, go around to the little bookshelf. Left. Yeah, look at all those books and scrolls.
Yeah, I'd say this is probably bigger than our...
This is
definitely bigger than our living room.
huge.
Maybe partway into the kitchen? Hard to say.
And look at those ceilings. The vaulted ceilings with the boards.
Mm-hmm.
And what is that doing there? Just a piece of fabric above her bed? Maybe she likes
for
looking
color.
at it.
Yeah. It's like slightly off to the side, but still.
Then again, one of my friends actually put something like that on her ceiling, and she threw Beanie Babies up there.
Yeah, my cousin had a net full of Beanie Babies hanging above her bed.
I'm home.
Or, no, I should say, I'm home.
Ryza, where have you been? You skipped out on your chores again.
I was upstairs inspecting my bedroom for potentially the last time.
Oh, sorry. I ditch work, run off, get yelled at. Always the same thing. I wanted to escape this ordinary life. But if the island sinks, that ordinary life will disappear.
What's the matter, Ryza? You don't look so good. So, I'm actually reminded of a friend of mine in college.
Mm-hmm.
The one that dropped out freshman year. You probably never met him.
Mm-hmm.
I know he grew up in Staten Island, which is a fairly affluent part of New York.
Oh, yep, definitely.
Like, incredibly so.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just called him Staten. And he was a nice guy. A little odd, but we all kind of were in our own way.
It's kind of like how your nickname was Art because you were the only artist on the floor.
Mm-hmm. And even then, there wasn't much of a nickname.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember this guy now specifically because he was a very successful DJ prior to college. So from the ages of 14 until 18, 19, he would DJ Sweet 16s and parties and stuff. And because people on Staten Island are freaking loaded,
He'd make a lot of money from it.
He was nearing... He had been nearing like $1 million or something like that already.
Whoa! So was he doing $1,000 an event and just
more than that,
racking
way more
it
than
in?
that. Yeah, because he had his own setup. He had
raking it in, I should say.
He had promotional organizers. Like whatever it was, he was stupid successful, and he was like low key famous
but
in the area.
But his parents still forced him to go to college and get a degree.
Yeah, convinced him to get to sell all of his gear.
Oh no!
Mm-hmm.
And you wonder what happened to him.
No, I know what happened to him. He didn't cut it in college.
But was he able to go back to being a DJ?
No.
Or did that...
Because he sold all of his gear.
That passed him
and
by.
then lost all of his money on tuition.
Mm-hmm.
And then dropped out. And I'm pretty sure his parents took some of his money, too. I can almost guarantee that. But, like, he'd been making way more than them. In fact, there was a... we've gone to one of those dinners, and yeah, it was the usual dick measuring contest of, how much money do you have? And a lot of people had, like, just come back from Google or Microsoft or whatnot. And this guy was, like, mad rich. And, yeah, he was just talking about how, like, very realistically, he probably wouldn't be able to get it all back because all of that money was already kind of gone. And I was just blown away. Because his parents more or less had just ruled his life to the point where they're like, no, you need to go to college. Stop with this stupid DJing business because it'll never go anywhere, even though he was making more money than them. And you need to get a degree in computer science. Except for he wasn't good enough for computer science or software engineering or IT. So eventually he dropped out and got a license to drive a dump truck, and that's what he does now.
Oh.
Yep. And it breaks my heart, and I think that's part of the reason why I get so mad about this whole, like, get a real job thing. I mean, obviously, my job is about as fake as they come. But, like, every time I see somebody that, like, ditches any motivation in their life to better themselves in favor of getting a real job, it almost always goes really poorly.
Yeah, and the thing, too, is, for many jobs, your heart has to be in it. And you don't want to be that person that goes to a day job and comes back dead tired and barely has any time to pursue your hobbies or your dreams or things that's why so many people probably come back and they, well, watch Netflix or watch YouTube and such. I don't know. I mean, that's what people are probably doing now. Oops. But
the curtain has been pulled back. Oh shit.
Oh no. But yeah, people are asking, what is a dream? Well, just I suppose it depends on what you want to accomplish for yourself. Like, is just living day to day, eating, waking up, going to work, coming home, is that enough?
I think for some people that is. I know a lot of people like fill that with like other activities like hiking, biking, hobbies and whatnot, and that's okay too. The stuff of midlife crises. Yeah. I don't know.
And I've seen so many adults in their retirement age, they look back on their life and they go, oh, what I would have done if I had actually done the thing I wanted to do with my life. But then again, there's also the concerned parents that are worried that, you know, a lot of people don't make it pursuing their passions. And it is scary. And I mean, without you, I don't know where I would be. That's for sure. But I suppose just...
Sorry for the long tangent. This mother makes me irrationally mad.
It's because we've experienced this.
Yeah.
Are you sick? Huh? No, I'm fine. Ryza, come here. Let me take a look. This is nice and fresh, so if I mix it with this and... Oh, okay. Done. You must be starving. Here, eat up.
Isn't that a dry biscuit?
It looks like biscuits.
Ah! Thank you. This is so tasty. Your food is always the best, Mom. That's more like it. It's not like you to act so down. Let me bribe you with food. You'll love us again.
Like, really, that's just... Everything's done a complete 180. Okay. Down?
She's right. You're the type that cheerfully runs off while your mother yells at you.
Not that you always need to do that either. Here, finish your food. Okay, thanks.
Well, it's probably either. I should have said either.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's either this or that, or...
No, either this or that.
Yeah.
If the island sinks, I'll never be able to have this again. Mom, Dad, the farm, the entire village. I'm not gonna let that happen.
Huh? Did you say something, Ryza?
I sure did. Mom, Dad, thank you. I'm feeling a lot better.
I hope this means you have enough energy to help out around the house.
Shut up! Just shut up! What do you say, Ryza?
I'll try.
Peace.
What? Really? Wander.
Ryza's alchemy really is something else. My fingers have all the sensation they did before the accident.
Oh, are they gonna touch hands?
Is this gonna be a romantic moment?
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to see. And what about the pain? All gone?
Yes, completely. I have a feeling the Ravaging Queen isn't going to know what hit her.
I see. So you would say it's completely healed then?
Well, yes. Why do you ask?
Empel, Have the Orin... Have my people placed an undue burden on you?
Of course not.
Are you sure?
Give me a second. Here. Yes, I was betrayed. I believed in nothing until I met you. You gave me new purpose as an alchemist. Ah, shit. It's fine.
Wander!
Sorry.
What are you doing?
Somebody's spoiling things in chat.
Oh gosh.
I don't actually know if it's spoilers, but I wanted to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes, I was betrayed. I believed in nothing. Until I met you, you gave me new purpose as an alchemist. This fight is just one of many, many more to come. As long as you're by my side, I plan to carry on.
I see. Very well then. I'm back! Me too.
We've done everything we need to, for now. Yep, and we're 100% ready. What about you two?
Indeed. We just finished our preparations.
Which means it's time to head to the gate.
At the hidden cove, right?
The final battle?
So, to reiterate what happened there, I have no idea if that actually was spoilers, but it looked spoilery enough that I don't want that lurking around. If you... be careful, always, when posting to my chat, because I realize a lot of people have already finished this game and they're just kind of watching us to see our reactions for
these
stuff.
are things that we've never seen
These
before.
are new.
I don't know how it happened, but this place is now Tao's research lab. I'm surprised how he can concentrate reading with all the sweet smells going around. I wouldn't want books out in the open. Also, they have a party tent.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't look like we can see what it's about, though.
You never did get to soak in that hot tub.
I can finally eat pizza. Well, I actually haven't eaten it yet. I should ask Empel on how to make it.
Ah, pizza. No, don't remind me. We have this one pizza that we absolutely love that we get from Fred Meyer. I think it's by private selection, right? It is a goat cheese pizza with vegetables. And what makes it so unique is, on top of the fact that it has these thin, sweet goat cheese slices on it, it has a bunch of seasoned, I believe they're peppers and zucchini, but they've definitely been soaked in some kind of marinade. If you could call a vegetable marinade a marinade. I thought marinades are usually for meat. But I think it has, I don't know if it's basil or cilantro or what's spread on it, but it just tastes so sweet. And it has tomato sauce, but it's not the highly acidic, traditional tasting tomato sauce. It's also sweet. I don't know how they managed it, but it's just a sweet pizza. Though, what are some of my favorite pizza flavors? Well, I like anything with vegetables on it. So, I love my veggie pizzas. When it comes to meat, I'm not too fond of having too much meat on pizzas. Pepperoni irks me a bit. I think it depends on what variety of pepperoni they use and if it's spicy or not. And how much they crisp it versus not, you know? There's so many ways that pepperoni can turn out. Sausages I don't mind. But I do like classic Hawaiian pizzas. The Canadian bacon, which is akin to a ham, and pineapple. And sometimes onions. And yeah, we like barbecue pizzas. And actually, Wander's a fan of white pizzas.
Yep.
Pizzas with either a butter, garlic, or Alfredo sauce. Oh, didn't you get a spinach one?
We did.
We'll have to have it sometime.
Oh, I could almost go for it after the stream.
But we should stop eating at midnight. Not good for us. They've neglected to set up the rear guard. Perhaps they haven't noticed we defeated their skyreader. They really don't care about their own kind, huh? Of course they're monsters, so...
In the Felucia swarm, each creature's value is determined by the role they serve, nothing more. Right, they're just gears in a machine, so they don't feel anything if one dies. They're like ants or bees.
An apt comparison, which is exactly how we're going to beat them, by destroying their core.
Core? You mean the Ravaging Queen? We all understand our ultimate goal, yes? Then let's go.
So it's going to be 6 of them versus an army of bugs.
Back into the underworld.
Oh.
I hope we can all look up into the sky together again someday.
Me too. The sky during a drought is pretty awful, especially the big burning sun.
But rain or shine, this is the sky of our world. Okay, I've burned this moment into my memory. Now let's attack.
The Felucia are likely lying in wait right on the other side of the gate. Be prepared.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay, let's go.
More cutscene or...
Okay. Here we... They're right here.
Oh no, they look really strong.
That's a swarm general. They're especially powerful, so be careful.
Ah, I've been waiting for this.
Do you think we can handle this one, Empel?
We have no choice. Their scouts and skyraiders are active. We need to cut a path to the queen.
When there's nothing left to think about. Okay, everyone, let's do this.
Okay, I guess, seeing as I've been asked to finish my thing about spoilers, not everybody has seen this game, so asking even, like, kind of thinly veiled, attempts at getting around the issue, is ultimately kind of pointless, because, like, that might still actually be spoilers for people.
And also, we very much enjoy predicting what's going to happen on our own.
And the problem is, like, I actually do keep an eye on chat fairly often. And so, like, even if it's not meant for me to see, I will still see it. And that sucks for me because now I have a spoiler in my head. Ooh, it was a tough fight, but we did it. That was terribly easy.
Defeating a general disrupts the smaller units nearby. This will certainly delay their invasion.
So even one victory has some meaning, at least.
Correct. But the fact that there was a general so close means that they're nearly ready to begin.
And we don't have any more time to waste. Empel, what's next?
First, we should connect back up with Kilo. I want to gather more information and make sure she's safe.
Kilo? Yeah, I hope she's okay.
The real trick is, if you do need to ask a question that might be spoilers, find somebody else that's already played the game before, and whisper them. That's a super easy way to get around just accidentally spoiling it for other people.
The other odd thing is we don't have any of this series up on YouTube yet, and we keep playing it. I think it's because we started playing this in favor of you doing Disgaea.
Disgaea was depressing me for some reason.
Oh.
I think I just needed a game where I wasn't the only one commentating. Oh, that thing went down in a second.